How are you as a flyer?
I'm a pretty good flyer.
And you're flying a lot?
I think so. Yeah, like almost every weekend.
And what?
Delta.
Yep, same.
Are you first flight out the day?
No, I don't like that. I would rather get there the night before and spend on the hotel.
I feel that.
I'm always first flight out the day, and I hate it every single time.
Why do you continue to do it?
It's like $60 cheaper.
I used to do that where I would like save, like I would literally like fly into the wrong airport to save $40.
Yeah.
And then you're on the Uber and you're, you know what I mean? Like
it's not worth it.
Well, I don't
somewhere
do like
down the
Newark.
line, you're going to fuck yourself over. Like you're getting more coffee to keep yourself awake. Like somewhere it's going to get you.
I love a 2 p.m. westbound flight.
Yeah,
like
that's great.
When you fly to LA and you just get there at 2.
Oh, yeah.
That's wonderful.
I always go first flight out the day. You arrive at like 10 a.m. if you're going to the West Coast. And then I just nap for the rest of the day. But no matter what, I have an awful set Thursday night.
Yeah, that's a waste.
I'm too tired.
Yeah, no. I like to get there the night before. Make sure I'm like, especially if it's like a full weekend on the West Coast, get there the night before, I think.
I'm debating right now. I have a flight to London in a couple weeks. And I always when I fly to London, I fly red eye. But I was like, let me see like how I would feel if there's an 8 a.m. flight that gets in at 8 p.m. and I'm wondering if it's worth it. Because I just never like missing a day.
Yeah.
But I kind of be like, I don't know if I want to feel like shit for a whole day.
When I visited you, I visited him when he was living in London, and I did a red eye and then didn't have any sleep. We went out to go see a soccer game, came back, did something else.
Yeah.
Then I did a spot. Then
you really pushed it.
I really pushed it, and I had a great time.
I think you had a second coffee that day. It was insane. Yeah. you were rolling.
Do you guys always start this way?
Yeah.
I don't know how we don't.
Great.
Do you want us to start different?
I think actually let's pick another form of transit.
Okay.
And talk about how we like to take it.
Well, do you know about the topic today?
I actually don't know.
You don't know anything.
No, I don't.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
I didn't even
flights?
think. What?
Is it flying?
No, I mean flying is a big theme of mine because I have to fly every week, twice a week, and I'm kind of a scared flyer.
Every week?
Yeah.
Why every week?
Because I do the road.
Just the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never take a week off?
I have been recently because my wife is pregnant. But
why did I think when he said that, I was like, that is so much flying. And
that's
that is
what you
the
do.
exact amount of flying that I do.
It is a lot of
twice
flying.
a week.
We all do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck I thought was happening.
Yeah.
You were like, you're not doing that well. Nah, you're not flying every week. No, I did. So I had this like kind of corporate-y media job, and it ended in December, and I just was like, I have to make the same amount of money. So
yes.
And so I just went on the road.
I think correct decision.
And it's horrible. I hate being dependent on my money for the road, but it's still fun. I mean, it's just horrible traveling that much.
I wish I had, you remember during the pandemic when people were doing Zoom shows, like Zoom corporates?
Yeah.
I wish I had gotten in on that. Man.
Yeah, there's some people still making their bag.
Off of Zooms?
Yeah.
Yeah, the corporations are still doing
The
Zooms.
corporates
I'm not
are still doing
them,
it.
But
yeah,
people
That's
are doing
nuts.
This is called The Known Zone. That's the name of this podcast. It's an educational podcast. Hi, I'm Andy Haynes, and I'm joined by my consummate little lotus blossom, the Pinoy boy himself, Pinocchio.
Pinocchio, wow.
I came up with that last night. Wilfred Padua. Hey, how are you?
I'm all right.
We're
I
joined.
like nicknames.
Okay.
That was fun.
I'll think. Okay, we're gonna come up with
All
one.
right, we'll
for
get
you.
one for in the next hour.
Okay.
I was just trying to think of a quick one. Didn't get there. You guys were joined by a very special guest, a new friend.
Yeah.
Somebody who I think this is the first guest that I didn't know prior very well.
So this is gonna go really bad.
Yeah. No,
So bad.
It's okay. We're gonna get there. I'm a people pleaser, and
Well, actually, we had his wife on, and that's probably our worst episode, probably.
Yeah, she sucked.
I can't do worse than that.
So this, with you being the one we know the least,
it's probably going to be the best.
Right.
But she's also pregnant and mean.
She was that way before.
Her name is Ashley Gavin. Can we say?
Yeah.
Can we say our guest name?
Ashley.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
What's your nickname?
Well, I think the low hanging fruit is Ashley Gavin.
Oh,
I couldn't even get to
That's
that.
the low-hanging
That seems like a Lucas like what Lucas would
Yes,
come up with for
yeah.
a good joke.
Yes, yeah, and it would land, and everyone would laugh.
I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, that because I'm gay. If that's not entirely clear, if I think even if you're listening, you should know that.
I don't know. I think you straddle.
Really?
I grew up surrounded by lesbians. I'm serious. I grew
Raised
up,
by lesbians.
I was raised in a world of lesbians. My sister.
Where did you?
Seattle.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah.
And my sister.
That's how you guys know each other.
Yes.
Great.
And my sister's a lesbian,
There you
and she did a lot of like gay LGBT youth stuff when she was a youth too.
Wait, when did she
That's
come out?
incredible.
She came out when she was 12, maybe 12 or 13.
What?
But my
nuts.
uncle's gay, so it was like already.
Oh, wow.
So
oh
was
my
he,
God.
was he out the whole time that you were a kid?
My uncle is like he's like a caricature of an old gay like queen.
Oh,
you know? He's like, you have to go.
What was that?
You know, like,
What was that karaoke bar on Capitol Hill? There's like a karaoke gay bar on Capitol Hill, and they did open mics there, and all of these old
Hamburger
gays
Man. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
so upset that we were there.
It's down.
Every week you guys would come in, and every week.
It's every
again.
Tuesday.
They
and
hated it.
They were like 60, and they would the bar. You would be on the stage and you're facing the bar, so people have their backs to you.
Yeah.
And the only way
Emmett
to
ran it.
Yeah, Emmett ran it. The only way to feel good was to see if to get them to turn around, and they'd turn around with their arms crossed and just stare. But when you're like, "Hey, I won! I got you here.
I got you to pay attention to me." But they were like so nonplussed because they'd been, like a gay 60-year-old's like a war veteran. You know, like they've gone through.
It was a dive bar pretty much for these 7 gay dudes.
Yeah. I feel and this is like a little bit not the lesbian inverse, which is, or is it converse? I don't know what you say. But like straight women in general take over gay bars.
They can. Not as much lesbian bars, but
don't-
there are also only like 4 lesbian bars.
Yeah, what's the lesbian?
I think
the
it's- I
famous
think we're
one in
at,
the West Village.
Cubby Hole.
Yeah,
You don't
Cubby
see a
Hole.
lot of straight girls there.
No,
There was
Yeah.
that one in also on Capitol Hill, Wild Rose. I went there a few times.
I haven't heard about that one.
Seattle.
There's only 11 like in the country.
Really?
Yeah, they're like an There's a nonprofit to preserve them, like the Red Panda or
What?
something.
Yeah.
They're like they're going extinct. Lesbian bars.
Yeah.
So what was there like a lesbian bar boom, and then
There was no boom. The issue is that we don't go out late at night.
yeah.
The whole you can't take gay male culture and just apply it to lesbians. It just doesn't. It does not work.
But I think I've always thought this, which is that gay men absorb this is very broad. So by the way, I'm not saying
Go
I'm
ahead,
right.
say it.
I just want you to know.
I think we've got a lot of ground covered between the two of us. So
Yeah.
we can either get
Yes.
you canceled or keep you.
I would love it. I would love to be
Say
canceled.
the
It's
C
done some
word.
great-
Yeah, get some views.
I'm
Choose
gonna
a
get
C word between the two of us.
I'm gonna get on Rogan. So like I think that like with a lot of lesbian culture, it adopts masculinity, right?
Yes, yeah.
And masculinity is inward and closed off
Yeah.
and stoic, right? I don't think that's the case for lesbians per se, because there's also like every lesbian I know is like nesting and gardening.
You're so right. Like, why are we making fun of lesbians for being cottagecore when really we're like in a cabin in the woods, like Ron Swanson? Like that's like what lesbian culture
what?
is, like making your own canoe.
I'm starting to realize why I connect with lesbians so much, because I'm also a human being trying to adopt masculinity.
Well, I think they actually are adopting it. I think you're trying. So you're kind of
Unsuccessfully, dude.
Oh yeah, I know.
No, I think now
you
it's
seen
changed
these
a little
hips?
bit because lesbians are having like a moment.
yeah.
We have been since 20. I think like the past 5 years has been like a lesbian renaissance. It's been like
Lena Waithe
incredible.
stepped on the stage, and you guys were ready for prime time.
Not just Lena, but the World Cup.
Yeah.
The World Cup was
yeah.
huge. Megan Rapinoe was huge. So it's been great. For
Every
lesbians.
single show that I've been watching lately, like I started watching the morning show,
Mhm.
which I don't
Great
like.
show.
I didn't. The first season's good. Second season,
Yeah,
falls
yeah,
off.
Oh, on Apple TV or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like every female character at some point kisses another woman, and
That's
it's
just what
like
the pandemic did to society. Just
Yeah.
women are are bisexual now.
Every woman's
awesome for
bisexual.
me.
Yeah.
That must rock.
It does.
Now, but here's the other thing I was going to say, and this probably doesn't happen to you now, but it probably did definitely happen to you a lot, which was that you would be friends with a guy and they would be like, you would have sex with me, right?
Oh, no.
Not even in your like teens, not in like high school?
Are you Gold Star?
I am Gold Star.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Good for you.
Congrats.
She wasn't even born from a woman.
Yeah.
I actually am the first ever baby to come out of my father's penis.
That's great. Wow,
Yeah.
you must have been so small.
I was a little tiny little
Yeah.
pea, and they nursed me in the lesbian unit where the other pee babies come from, and they sorry, I'm taking this really far.
Going.
No, they put us in the incubator.
Was
and
the little
we grow.
Subaru Outback?
Yes, it's a tiny Subaru Outback to scale, and
It's
they
in
keep
the cup
growing
holder.
it. Yeah.
You guys have miniature rescue puppies with you too. That's so great.
Running around the Subaru.
I mean, it's weird because I lived in Seattle and I lived here and I lived in LA, and I think Seattle and the Northwest have one specific brand of kind of what we assume is lesbian culture, and then you go to LA and it's a completely
Totally
different thing.
yeah.
It's like the L word, and everybody's like wearing like
Hot.
Rick
Like a
Owens
big-
recessed shirts.
Like
Oh.
a big hat.
Yeah,
But I
It's
thought
a-
that was all women in LA.
It kind of is,
It
yeah.
kinda
But it's
is.
I guess it's like slightly masculine of center.
I
I'm not
see.
even of center, just like slightly.
You
more
go to
masculine.
Eagle Rock and you'll see a lesbian couple, and it's just the only difference is one of them has a belt on. You know, that the mask is wearing a belt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
The
know.
thing is,
True.
in the Northwest, like the entire Northwest culture is lesbian culture.
That's a very confusing thing about going to Seattle.
Yeah.
Because I was just there, and
Where'd you play?
The Neptune.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was super cool. You get out and you're like, every single one of these women is a lesbian, right?
Yeah.
And then no, actually they're not.
The entire city doesn't dress well. The entire
Yeah.
they're all REI. Like it's all.
I would actually say that there's probably one of the downsides of it is that lesbian women are probably more put together than straight women in Seattle to some extent.
I would say yes.
Because straight women in Seattle can be pretty messy, you know, like
Yeah.
the grandma kind of like I'm looking like shit as a statement, and I'm not trying to put beauty standards on anybody, but you know what I'm saying, like
No,
Capitol
I am.
Hill.
I
you know?
fucking hated. I personally didn't.
It's just a
feel like-
different. It's just like a totally different vibe.
I also like being in Seattle. I like didn't feel like I could dress as good as I wanted to dress, like because no one tries.
On
Yeah.
your side, we're talking about like female beauty standards, but on your side, you're like, I'd actually like to be a little more femme. Please.
Yeah,
He's-
I would like to put vitamin C serum on
Yeah.
my face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because if you are in a place like New York, you can kind of embrace that, right?
Yeah.
Like I can kind of be like, I'm a little like delicate and I want to treat myself today. But if you're in Seattle, you don't have like that safety net of that culture around you. So
Yeah.
you're just all of a sudden like people are like, oh, you're gay. And you're like, no, I like myself. And
Even
they're
the gay guys were like, "All right,
Yeah.
come on."
I will say I'm impressed by like, especially like a place like Seattle, there'd be like outlier cities like Anacortes. And Anacortes would have like a gay bar. They'd have like one gay bar and it's like a town of 10,000. And you were
Yeah.
like, man, these guys have been out here
Being gay.
just being gay. It's not like being gay in Alabama, but it's pretty
Yeah.
damn
Yeah.
close, you know? And
Sometimes the cities where you're like, holy shit, I didn't think I was in Louisville. And I couldn't believe how many people came out for the show.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because like a lot of times those people are the people who are like, please, something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some sense of community somewhere. So they are actually like more hardcore than like the gay people in like more queer cities.
You know my favorite gay city? Low-key gay city?
Low key gay city.
You'll jump on this right away, I bet. Salt Lake.
Oh my God, so many gay people. I think someone told me highest gay per capita
Yeah.
Really?
in the United States. Yeah, because all the ex-Mormons.
Yeah.
I really think the ex-Mormon community.
So Mormon
creates-
Mormon makes you gay.
Yeah, actually, through being so not gay,
Yeah.
they've actually flipped the entire
Got it,
city to
got it.
being gay. Well, because they like, I just think the people who wanna like sow their wild oats after years and years and years of like being all pent up, there's just more acceptance around all the
And it's also that weird thing where, you know, like people in Seattle, they they're from like Spokane and Wenatchee and Yakima. I think that it's the same type of thing where you don't think like I'm going to move from Provo, Utah to San Francisco. You go like, oh, I'll go to Salt Lake.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So it's the whole state. It's southern Idaho. It's Montana, definitely Wyoming. And they're all just kind of going to the best city near them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Salt Lake's super gay.
They got a WNBA team?
I don't think they do.
That's fucked up.
I'm gonna look
Seems
that
like
up.
they should. That seems
Do you
like a
guys like the
perfect franchise
WNBA?
city. I'm going to get into it. I have wanted. I'm not a big basketball
This
person.
is the year, dude. The
Or the
Liberty,
Liberty
are
are
like
great.
stacked this year. Yeah.
So I'm having a daughter in October.
Was that the New York team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're from Seattle, so we've been
The
having some
Storm.
all-star teams.
Doesn't? Oh, Connecticut has a team too, the Mystic, right?
Yes, I think so.
So I'm going to try to. I'm a big soccer fan.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to get into the
Connecticut
NWSL.
Sun.
It's
the Sun.
they changed the Mystics to the Sun.
Washington Mystics.
Washington Mystics.
I knew
Oh.
that because Jamel keeps on talking about how
Jamel loves the
Jamel
WNBA.
loves the Washington Mystics.
He's a big supporter. I'm having a daughter, and I want her to.
Oh my God, there's like 6 teams.
be in the
There's
World Cup.
very few teams.
I thought there was going to be way
It's
more.
a very affordable league to have season tickets
Wait,
to.
but Las Vegas, Seattle, San Francisco. No, not
There's 12.
I think Phoenix.
There's actually 12 teams. I was using hyperbole.
What?
It's a way of
He was
fancy word
exaggerating.
for exaggeration.
Mm.
Sorry, I got a message.
We're talking to somebody that went to. She's a coder. She went to.
Yeah,
you went to a
Oh,
good
you
school,
guys
right?
researched me.
A little.
Your Wikipedia isn't that thorough, though.
Yeah, it didn't tell us any
The
juicy
Wikipedia is a
deets.
little bit light.
Where are you from?
I have one, okay?
Yeah, I know.
That was hard to get.
I was jealous.
They
of
are
that.
hard to get.
I'm from here. I'm born and raised in New York.
Manhattan.
hmm
Wow. Okay. And college?
I went to Bryn Mawr.
Yeah, I saw that actually on your.
Yeah, it's a women's college.
Oh, okay.
So.
That's when it happened.
Yeah, it was very easy there. It was nice, honestly. It was lovely.
I'm gonna change. I'm gonna ruin the mode of this.
No, I think we've done enough gay.
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
mean,
sorry. I feel like you must get that every
I
time
brought
you go.
it up.
Okay, good.
I did. It was me. And I have to do it or my family
Oh.
will revolt.
Oh, actually, you know what? I want to do one more gay thing.
Yeah.
And that is, what brand of lesbian are you?
Oh, I would say, oh man, this is hard. I would describe myself as like kind of, oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but
Please say it.
it's the only thing that makes sense.
You want us to bleep
I would
it?
say I'm slightly, yeah, you might have to believe it. I'm slightly masculine of center, I think.
Okay.
Is
Is there shorthand for that? Like my sister,
Mask.
my sister one time described herself as a nature dyke.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I can picture exactly who she is. And unfortunately for me, the only way to picture exactly who I am is, have you guys heard of what a Hey Mama's lesbian is?
No, but I like it.
So this is like, and I'm not very Hey Mamas today because I didn't wear a chain, but
Oh, actually, I know what this is because when I saw you last time, you were wearing like kind of a linen Leon Dior kind of outfit with New Balances matching, and I was like, this is like a vibe.
yeah.
So
Oh my God.
So you're
I
like,
can't believe
you
it.
dress like us is pretty much.
Yeah, honestly, I love your outfits.
Thank you.
Is that-
you look great all the time.
He
and I'm
always
trying to
looks
dress a
great,
little more
yeah.
like I'm about to say something crazy, but we've been talking about gay the whole time, so let's make it Asian. I would like to dress a little more like a stylish Asian guy.
We should.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we should.
That's sort of like on my Pinterest board.
he's a great
Yeah, wait,
consultant.
can we go shopping or something?
Absolutely. I've been wanting to do. I've got this idea for like a makeover show. Not that you need to be made over,
No,
but,
but I need
but
to
the idea
level
is
up,
like
and I
I
need
want to
help.
just like go shopping with comics because it's so much fun.
Well, I'm a good challenge too, because like, where do I fucking buy pants? Because like, you know, men's pants, they don't always are. They're not
Do you
the
have,
most
are you,
flattering
do
on
you have
women.
hips?
I
don't know what
do
your
a
hip-
little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
And so like, I don't want to wear men's pants because they look super
I don't
boxy
like that.
and weird.
I hate that boxy, loose look.
Yeah. So I need something. I would either have to get it tailored or I have to find women's clothes that like
Yeah.
are a little more masculine, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
I want to. We can transition better than that. We'll edit it so that it sounds good.
Don't edit it. I think just do it.
Do the thing.
So, what
Fucking do it.
What we do on this podcast, since you have no idea why you're here, is we pick a topic
No, I'm aware.
and we explore it. Oh,
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
I
And we-
at least read the email.
okay, good. Thank you. And we picked Amelia Earhart.
Oh my God,
because
great pick.
We saw that you had a science background,
Wow, this is so thoughtful.
and
I had no idea that she also swung the lady way.
Well,
How could she not?
It's unconfirmed, but it's pretty confirmed.
She was like the first female pilot, right?
Yeah,
like you can't not.
Well, she was the 16th woman in history to get a pilot's license.
I heard.
And all the 15 before her were gay.
Yeah.
Every single
Really?
one. I don't know.
I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's the thing is,
There's
it's like
the
something
entire
about being
US
a
soccer
woman in a
team.
male space that's gay.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the women who do it, and same why lesbian comedians are just probably per capita more successful than straight female comedians. And I'm not trying to be like a dick in that way, but I think we don't give a fuck about what men think of us.
Yeah.
So we just go head first into whatever sports, a lot of lesbian chefs.
Mm-hmm.
So many
Oh,
lesbian
really?
chefs.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it might be, comedy, engineering. We just really, and I'm no shade to the straight female listeners, but
Sure,
like
we
that's
don't-
just like we don't care. So
we
like,
don't. We probably don't have any, and
Less actors, I'd say.
Yeah,
There's not a lot
less
of out
actors.
lesbian actors. And I think that's probably because Hollywood's so still based
Truly.
on women being fucked by men.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when you come out, it sucks. Like Kevin McHale from Glee, he's done my pod a couple times, and he was like, after I came out, the work just started to kind of like dry up. It's very difficult for queer actors
Yeah.
because the world. The producer's just like, well, I don't see you as like a romantic object
yeah.
anymore. So therefore,
Kristen Stewart has to be the most successful besides Jodie Foster. But
both of
out.
them super made it before they came
that
out.
actually
Yeah.
That's like a big.
Yeah.
And for comedians too, that's a big part of it.
with like Neil Patrick Harris, like after him coming out, I'm like, I think I saw some role where he kissed a girl. I was like, I don't believe that.
yeah.
That is like absolutely.
It's funny. I didn't believe it when he was doing it before.
When he was a child.
Yeah.
You're like, Doogie Howser's
Yeah.
not kissing
Yeah.
this girl.
He's just
No, but he
pulling
was like
old
the
ladies.
male slut of How I Met Your. He was like with every.
Yeah,
on
Yeah,
Barney,
yeah. I think that's what it
Barney.
was.
Yeah.
I was like, I watched it and I was like, I don't believe this shit.
Oh, okay.
Now, speaking of Amelia, I'm going to be the cop on the show once in a while to pull it back. She's. I just had a question that
I
I was
don't know
going to
much
ask
about
you.
her, so this is
Yeah, I was
great.
going to ask you what you knew about her.
Really, not much. I know she died
Mhm.
on her way to Lesbos.
We don't know she died.
She could still be alive.
She'd be 126.
The plane,
At
the
some-
plane is still in the
At
air.
some point, yeah, the plane went down to get fuel, and at some point
Yeah.
she did die. Sucks for female representation that she died. Wish she had made it.
I don't know. I feel like martyrdom. you
Yeah,
know?
martyrdom's cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If she just makes us and like is successful, and then there's like somebody who kind of is the heir to her,
Yes.
then that person, it's just this was like this. She was basically one of the first like people marketed based on she's like one of the first kind of like social media stars in a way.
Can I
Right.
say something that might be true that
What?
I know? I heard that she wasn't actually the first lady pilot to
Well-
fly across the Atlantic.
Was that what she
Oh.
was? I thought she was flying around the world.
Well,
She was the first lady pilot to fly across the Atlantic.
so I heard that.
Let's keep saying lady pilot.
Yeah, pilotess, Piletian.
Yeah, Piletian.
Pilotress.
Yeah, pilotress. Yes.
But I heard that there was another woman who did it. First, I've heard two things, and I don't know if any of this is true. This is just from Kenny DeForest telling me this.
So yeah.
He said that she was actually a passenger. There was a guy that flew her.
well, that was another one.
And then the other thing that I heard was that there was a woman who did it, but she was ugly. So
that
they,
sounds right.
so they
I'll
were like,
choose
let's
to believe
do,
that 'cause it
let's
fits
just
my
choose this
narrative.
one. Yeah.
I mean,
Wait,
you
a
know.
guy flew her?
Okay, so her
Look,
very first.
My bald friend told me this.
Yeah.
So
I don't like
He's
that.
going
And I
through.
never
He's
looked
going
it up.
through a
Fit my
breakup.
narrative.
He might be, anti-woman for a
At
little
the
while.
moment.
No, he's a
His
good
girlfriend
guy.
was named Amelia.
You know that fucking bitch sat in the back
of
the plane.
Oh, I did actually have a side note earlier. Have you ever encountered a lesbian stewardess?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Cool.
can tell.
Well, they
'Cause
know
I
who
feel like
she
that's-
is.
Oh, so that because for me that's like they're so
True. Even the gay men, I'll be on the plane. They'll be like, "Do we?"
She's like lesbian Mateo Lane.
Oh
You
yeah, I
that,
know,
right?
I know.
Okay.
Oh, thank
I didn't
you
even-
so much.
But I didn't put that together because My idea of like flight attendants is that they're so put together and so like they don't really let out any personality.
No,
to
for
them.
sure. They are very professional.
Yeah.
But this gay guy on the plane, the attendant on that plane was like, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so like, yeah, they do know, but also they slide into my DMs. I've had a few flight attendants slide into my DMs.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
I've
they
had-
saw you on the plane and then they're like,
No, just flight attendants.
oh,
Because I
yeah.
fly Delta, and this flight attendant that slid in was American, so we would never have met.
Nice.
Got a brand loyalty.
I follow a couple fun like dancey flight attendants.
Dancy flight attendant is fun.
Yeah.
I hate those. So,
Yeah, I mean-
I hate all of those. Dancy flight attendant, dancy news anchor, dancy.
No, this is
like,
just a
I love a
hot.
dancey
I mean,
news
she's
anchor.
hot before
Absolutely,
she's
yeah.
dancey. The
Duh.
hot part is why I follow.
They're all
her.
hot
I
before
stayed for
they're
the
dancing.
dancing. But I've had one like almost flight attendant, and it was on my way to Salt Lake. And as the DMs continued, she DM'd me after the flight. And as the DMs continued, it turned out that she was like an Herbalife rep, and I bailed really quick.
Yeah, she was a Nigerian prince.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to come to your shop in Orem to get a smoothie. So Amelia is she's born in Kansas. She died at 39. How old are you?
I'm 35. Oh my
Okay,
God,
you
it's
got
happening.
4 years
Yeah,
left.
to go around the world.
You have 4 years left to circumnavigate the globe.
Okay. I could probably do it.
She was the
easier now.
first female passenger to cross the Atlantic.
Okay.
Was
So-
she? Because she was like learning.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
learning.
She's like
And
right
then
next
she
to
was the
right next to the pilot.
like a special
I
needs
really
kid.
like the idea of like I like the idea of having a show that's like feminist and we're talking about this great figure and it gets reductive because it's
Yeah,
comedy.
we just
It's
break
like,
her
no,
down
You're trying
constantly.
to do the service of
Yeah.
like just any great female anything. And
We
you're
do.
like,
I mean, we've done a few topics about women, and it's just always me making it stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta I think that there's something about like the way that we make fun of women, even though we feel like in our minds we're making fun of them the same way. It's like guys are retards and then women are bimbos, right?
Sure,
and I'm not
yeah.
saying that's the right word, but that's like how we
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we're like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot, and then but if it's a woman, we're like, she's never a fucking idiot. We're like, oh, look at this stupid broad, you know, like.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this is not a stupid broad.
No.
Amelia Earhart is
Whoa,
a badass.
You're gonna have to prove that. To
Right.
me.
There might be another badass who's not as good looking.
She did die, but raised in Kansas, alcoholic father,
Oh wow, so she has drive.
but had a badass mom, Amy Earhart, who was like, I'm not raising my girls to be sweet little girls. That's what she said.
Oh.
And her and her daughter, or her and her sister, her nickname was Mealy.
Love it.
Mhm.
Very queer.
Yeah.
If you met Amelia today, they have purple hair and they're serving you like a coffee.
I
They're
live in
barista.
Bushwick, so
But
I
get-
know.
Yeah.
Mealy's.
Mealy.
Get ready for her sister Grace's nickname, which is like one of my favorite nicknames
Is it-
I've heard in a long
Go
time.
ahead.
Pidge.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Isn't that the
Oh,
best?
it just sounds like an old timey like a period.
How do you
piece.
get Pidge?
Get over here, Pidge?
I don't know, but her name's Pidge, and
Pigeon Mealy. I love that queer band.
Yeah, they're great. It's
Mealy
it's
and Pidge.
Yeah.
Tegan and Sarah too. It's the first Tegan and Sarah. By the way, one time I was backstage with Tegan and Sarah at Sasquatch, and
That's sick.
yeah, it was great. And we're all dancing to, it was like Erica Badu or somebody, or LCD Sound System. We're all dancing LCD
Nice.
Sound System. And these bros who had just somehow gotten backstage are angling on Tegan and Sarah. And I see them trying to dance up on them. And the whole time I'm just like waiting for that moment. It was one of the, and just one of them turned around and was like, not happening kind of thing. Like, go away. And it was beautiful.
I love that confidence of bros where they're like, I'm pretty sure I can get pussy if I go over here.
If I go over here.
Yeah.
If I just mosey.
I mean, I was raised in such a female dominated world that I never expected it. You know what I mean? I've never like gone out to get pussy.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I've probably done that twice in my life, and boy, are they! It's so sad because you go, "Oh, beautiful girl," and you're like, "I need to talk to her," and then I never muster up the courage, and then I go home and I just
Very lesbian
think
of you, by
about
the
her
way.
for the rest
Oh,
of my
so
week.
Oh my
lesbian.
God.
Very
Yeah.
lesbian.
You
Yeah.
might be a lesbian.
Yeah.
I think that is, yeah. You guys are my spirit animal.
You mean lesbians?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool
Not
if that
you
was your.
too. Come
yeah.
on.
That'd be cool if your spirit animal was like you went to a Native American healer person, and then they're like your spirit animal, and then they showed you Ashley,
Actually, yeah.
putting on her chain.
Me standing on a rock in a forest.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but just
You're
on my hands
howling
and
like a
knees.
coyote.
Yeah.
What is the most lesbian animal?
The most lesbian animal.
I mean, I think the jump to is cat, but I would say more of like a puma.
I have never thought about this. There are certain fish that change gender, which is an interesting queer.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I feel like some kind of bird. Although now that we're in deer, antler are phallic. Let me think about this. For
Okay.
like, phallic, but they come off.
Yeah. Should we just turn off the pod for a little bit?
Yeah.
Until
Yeah,
we
let's
get an
just
answer?
stop everything, turn the lights off. We'll all sit in a corner.
I thought I was asking an easy question. Sorry, guys.
It's a fun question.
You fucked us up, dude. I don't want to do the pod anymore. No, she is. Let's say a few more things before this. Oh, tomboy, obviously, outdoorsy. Loved catching bugs and hunting rats with a rifle. You ever kill a rat with a rifle?
No.
Yeah, neither. I mean, you're from Manhattan.
Yeah.
For you to get a gun, things had to really go wrong in
To
your
be
childhood.
really bad at those rats.
But dad's an alcoholic, so they are in Kansas, and then they moved to Des Moines, and then they moved to Minneapolis, and eventually Amy's like, we're not doing this with you anymore. And he also kind of fucks up the family fortunes. So
What did he do?
he was like a railroad, kind of like
Okay,
on the
okay.
business side of railroads. She goes to Chicago, and she's a high schooler, and this I thought was pretty cool. It was a public school system, so you could like pick your high school. Like you had your local one, which you could just go to, but then you could like try to get into other ones. And she went to every high school in Chicago to find out which had the strongest science program as like a
Wow.
15-year-old.
What the fuck? Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's a badass.
That's so cool.
I lived in Chicago for 2 years, and I didn't even go to every neighborhood. That shit fucking sucks. Their transportation's not good.
I mean, this is like horse and buggy time too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's the teens. And also she kept a scrapbook of stories about women who were dominating a male or who were succeeding in a male dominated profession.
Oh.
So she like if a woman was a lawyer or a doctor or any kind of male dominated profession, it was like kind of her, I don't know, Babe Ruth, Yogi Berra kind of thing. Graduated, went to junior college, dropped out.
I feel inadequate right now.
I think
Really?
you're doing pretty good.
No, but hearing about this, I'm like,
Oh, we're
is-
beyond this.
I
This is
mean-
never going to happen again. Do you know how famous you have to be lastingly famous now?
Oh yeah. No.
Like Kanye is going to be a blip pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's like you
I don't even mean it like that. I don't mean like
Oh,
her
you mean
fame. I
just,
mean
like,
like her commitment
commitment.
to
Yeah.
feminism.
Who do you think? Trump is probably the only one that's going to be last. I don't think we're going to remember Biden that much.
No.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Only because of what would have happened. We will remember Biden.
I think that there's going to be some kind of technological schism that will probably create something. I don't know. I think we're like very much on the tipping point of singularity. So I think it's going to be pretty much universal knowledge pretty soon. We'll remember every single thought and we'll share them all. Do you know what the singularity is?
I've heard of it.
It's when the computers get so smart that they just are infinitely smart and they
I've
take over.
actually
Oh,
been
yeah.
thinking about this a lot because we are nearing it.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit further away than we probably won't see it in our lifetime, but I do think if everybody was replaced by a robot in a fair way, that could actually lead to peace.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that that's how it goes.
Yeah, robots aren't going to fight wars.
No. I'm thinking like no one has a job.
Yes.
Like, and we just,
yes.
yeah. And
We're
yeah.
chilling.
Yeah.
We're back to like
I hope
indigenous
I hope that's
people.
the way that it goes, but
So no one has a job, and the robots are working for us.
the robots are working right, and then we hope that the master programmer, whoever that guy is.
Did you hear about the guy that like worked for Google? He created AI for Google and he quit because he wanted to talk. He wanted to be like, "This is dangerous."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
But also NASA scientists are lighting themselves on fire. It's not going to go that way. It's going to go bad. I'm sure of it. Because it won't happen all at once. Poor folks are going to be replaced before like obviously AI should replace politics.
That'd be so funny. There's
That's like the first people that should be.
That's what they were saying with the writer's strike, is that the executives would way more sense to be replaced by AI than the writers.
Yes, yeah.
I thought the other day I saw this thing where it literally was a TikTok filter. This is what made me go, we're done for. It was this girl dancing, and then she put on a TikTok filter, and she was suddenly completely animated. It was like following her, and as she did hand movements, things like appeared. It was like beautiful, and I was like, oh, we're fucked.
Yeah. The deep fake, all that stuff, like we're like truly... Yeah,
it's going to be, I mean, it'll also be, that's one problem with just being entertainers, is it's going to be so, everything is going to be so manipulative, like easily created, that the idea, like eventually somebody's going to be able to just hold their phone in front of their face and make it look like they're a pharaoh and they're commanding Moses, and it's like the idea of a giant movie is going to be just...
I'm hoping that like, because it feels like on like Instagram and TikTok, what is most successful in terms of comedy are the people that are like doing the common denominator jokes.
You mean front facing?
No, just like stand up.
Oh, okay.
Because they're saying the jokes that everyone can relate to and comment to.
Comedy. Yeah. Well, I actually think that has been true.
Yes.
But now you're able to see it in a horrible way, where you put up your most complicated, interesting, intellectual joke, and it just absolutely bombs.
Yeah.
And then you put up some just fucking and everyone like
and
that.
So
yeah.
I'm hoping that because of how like widespread that's becoming, that it turns back into like, okay, let's start listening to good comedy again.
I don't know. I just think that things are getting so digestible and so little that it's I don't know if people are going to even sit down for that in a couple of years. It's just like there's so many comics and there's so many ways to ingest it and there's always going to be the demand for more, that the idea that somebody's going to be like, I want to go sit for 45 minutes.
No, I think live will. I actually think live is
will
one
always
of the
be a
few
thing.
things that will, until people are so addicted to their phones that truly like the mental health crisis takes like a really horrible turn.
That'd be great.
I think live is one of the few things that's like preserved.
Yeah.
Because people, and I love that clubs are putting the phones in the bags.
Yeah.
Love that. Like that's one of the few. I don't know that you can imitate live, like the feeling of connectivity.
I feel like it's becoming more and more prevalent in society, where they're like,
well, it's just so
I
big
need
right
a
now.
break from my phone.
Yeah, it seems so big right now, though, that I worry. I'm just worried that it's a bubble, because it's like every single comic is selling out a theater somewhere in the United States
I don't think
this
it's
weekend.
every single comic.
Not every single comic, but I mean like every single city has a comic this weekend that we know.
Has like 4 comics that we know.
But they're going to sell out a theater.
Do you think that is because, well, we don't know the numbers on that before, do we?
I mean,
You think it was lower?
yeah. Because I've been doing this 20 years.
Well, my people weren't going to see a comedian.
No, and I think it's also like one of the biggest things it has to do with it is it's like niche fame, right? So
Mhm.
like you find 400,000 to 1 million people that love you, and you can sustain a career around the world. It's just bizarre. Your people maybe weren't going to go see some of these people, but the same people that were going to go see Shane, that were going to go see Theo, that were going to go see Santino, like that is a bizarre, that bubble I think can burst.
Interesting.
Because you're listening to.
I had not thought about it that way. The way I thought about it as like a gay woman, I was like, their market is just so big. I wish I could have just the teeniest, tiniest piece of that market.
Their market is big, but I honestly think like even my kind of like just tapping my toe into that. I don't listen to Rogan. I don't listen to Tim occasionally, and I listen to Cumtown or whatever it is now occasionally. But those people are listening to all of those podcasts and watching all of those YouTube shows, and then going to see. It's just like insane.
Can I ask you a question about the creating your market?
Mm-hmm.
Is it annoying to have because
yes,
I'm thinking about this as an Asian dude who's like, I had like last year I was trying to like, I had this insecurity about not being one of the Asian comedians, and I no longer have it. I actually don't want that shit anymore. But I kept on doing these Asian shows.
It's so interesting.
And none of the people were there to see comedy. They're there to celebrate a minority group.
Yeah.
And then I go up and I say awful shit because that's what my stand-up is like, and it's just what, it's true to me.
No, like, you sound like a white man.
And you have trouble with that audience.
Because I'm not at all celebrating Asianness while I'm up there. I'm being a comedian.
Yeah.
I'm being funny should be celebrating enough. And I just found that so exhausting and frustrating, and it made me slightly racist towards Asians when I was on stage.
It's not. You're not being racist. What you're doing is you are not enjoying performing for people who don't enjoy comedy.
Yes. Yes.
And
it's just that when the experience comes up so often, you start thinking,
to feel
Like
for
I forget,
sure. I'm more homophobic than any other gay person you'll ever meet.
I remember I was watching RuPaul's Drag Race, like an early season of it, and I was like, I hate all of these gay people, and then I was like, I had to remind
you just
myself.
Don't like drag culture.
You
don't like that.
I had to remind myself that there are gay people that I love.
Yeah, You're not a fan of maybe the art of drag or the way drag audiences behave. And the way drag audiences behave is very difficult as a comedian.
Yes.
Do you have to perform at drag shows?
No, I don't. I won't.
But
I won't
you did
do it.
at one point?
Yeah, I did a lot of it.
Wow.
Because it's one of the ways you get booked as a gay person. I would like to just say that if you come to my comedy show, you're coming to a comedy show. And anyone who's been to one of my comedy shows, I open for my openers. So I go out and I tell them. I've heard that
like you really try to set the table for the comics with you.
That's nice. I'm glad people say that because I scream at these motherfuckers. I get out there and I'm like, no snapping, no wooing. Like, you're at a comedy show. I understand that you came here for community, and if that's a side effect of what happens, that's great. But this is a comedy show, and you're seeing the best comedians, and you're not going to censor us because you want to put us in the little box that you're in. Like, if you're putting us in the box, you're actually homophobic because you're saying, like, a gay person can only do gay jokes and, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, so I make it, like, very clear. And it took like 2 years to figure out how to do it. Because they just, like, it's so hard. It's really, really hard. They're better in a theater than at a club because gay people go to the theater, so they understand how to behave at the theater.
Yeah.
But, like, sorry, we went way on a tangent. But, like, I'm obsessed with this.
No, it's okay.
I'm obsessed with this concept because I don't want to be a gay comedian.
Yeah. I don't want to be like, and I don't want, as an Asian dude, I feel like there's so many people that have the like, yay, Asian stuff in their comedy. And
Which is great if that's like
great.
What you want to do.
Totally. But I want to show that there's individuality within this group of people.
Well,
we're totally talking about something.
Well,
I don't have any genre to fit into this.
No, but I think what I'm trying to say is bring your best bro friend. He is going to have a better time than you. That's what I'm trying to say to my audience. Like, I'm trying to be a bridge between communities.
Yeah, and I think you have a stand-up that is, even though you do talk about stuff that's like, I don't know, you talk about queer stuff and like queer, not like queer the good kind.
Queer is
like the movement.
Gross stuff.
I think
weird stuff.
I think universally we know what people are saying when they say queer now.
I actually grew up to people saying like queer is like a weirdo thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I also even heard people say it like that's a queer idea, which meaning like strange.
Oh.
Because that's what it actually means.
Yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah, no, but I know, but I didn't think that anyone, like, people who say like that's gay as in like happy, I'm like, you're fucking stupid.
There was a bar.
Yeah.
There was a bar in Seattle until like 2010 called the Gay 90s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I think what's interesting about, I had an idea about this. I was going to respond. Oh, I was opening for Cristela Alonso a couple years ago. She was doing like a theater tour. She just released a book. And I went through this, which was that every single audience was there to see this strong Latina who they related to and who they had and then I would walk out there and be like, so I'm a, piece of garbage white guy. And they were like, no, we don't like you. So I bombed a couple times. It was great.
Thing that and any audience member who feels that, I'm going to challenge them. Like, she is bringing you
for a reason.
You're an ally. Like, you're trying to be there to make connections between communities.
It's like every audience member thinks you weaseled your way on, and he's like, what the fuck?
They think I'm a Nepo baby.
And when I bring Lucas on the road, he is a Nepo baby.
Yeah. I always think that, like...
Did you guys go to the same private school?
No, we did not.
My thought with I don't think we're ever going to talk about Amelia Earhart.
No, we gotta get into it.
Have to.
But my thought with stand up is like, as a comedian, this is really, I hate that I'm saying this, but as a comedian, our job is to make the audience practice empathy.
Jesus Christ!
As a way to
I did not want this kind of podcast happening.
But say more.
But it's that, like, I'm talking about myself and I'm being myself, and then the audience's job is to just let their guard down and connect.
And not performative empathy.
Yes.
Not, oh, you said abortion, so I do this now.
Yeah.
I do that when I hear the word abortion. But on the street.
But I think
the news.
The whole point of comedy is because we say the things that you wouldn't normally hear in conversation. So to pull back and not let someone do that,
And
like I had a joke last night. It bombed. You watched this joke bomb very badly.
Yes.
And it's I don't think it'll ever work as a joke just because of who my face is. But I was walking down the street in Gramercy, where I live, and these two black teenagers are walking opposite me in Rosebud, and one of them just ran up to me and pretended to punch me, and then I flinched.
Sure.
And then they made fun of me, and the joke I'm trying to get to is that like I'm one of the good ones basically, but what I said like as a joke to them because it was funny in the moment. Rosebud started laughing. Is I said, now I'm on the side of the cops. But the audience was like...
And the teens laughed, too.
Yeah, the teens laughed, too. Yeah. They were like, oh, come on, man, fuck you. But that's like me admitting that I'm racist. I had a racist
in the
thought.
moment that the fist is raised... You're racist.
Yeah. Because actually, and also...
And shouldn't we all be, like, in that moment?
But also, I was thinking about this today. If those kids were white and they did that, I would have just been like, get the fuck out of here, you know? But in my head, I was like, these black teens, I have
But if
to
anyone,
call
no matter what, if you're raising a fist to me, I don't care what you are, I hate it for a second.
But also, it could be little girls, and I'd probably still flinch.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, and I hate little girls.
But why I said that was because it's like that's something that I find very interesting about just comedy. Like, I don't always do the best job, especially at an open mic. I have to explore it till it becomes a joke, and a lot of times it's really gross.
But a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that thought because they don't want to acknowledge it in them.
That's what I'm
saying. They don't want
saying.
to admit to the people around them that they have unconscious or subconscious or reflex racist thoughts,
and
which I think literally everyone on the planet, and if you're really doing the work or whatever, you acknowledge
you're supposed and what I think it is that and I think the difference between us and them is that they have an HR department that they have to respond to, and we don't.
Well, they're also not in a community of people who is constantly kind of like, what's weird about comedy is it's all day, every day going like, is it weird that the president is this and that the people are doing that and that we're, it's
we're
like
constantly like
analyzing.
Aren't gays doing, it's like there's we're analyzing
we weren't going to tell her that we had that thought.
Okay,
right?
But
remember,
and I'm so glad I didn't
keep that
finish
secret. Aren't there a lot of gays now?
Aren't there like too many?
No, actually, I don't know if there's too many for my personal purposes, but there are a lot of gays now. Yeah.
Are you a puss hound?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
That's good.
All right.
You really left him
Make sure
hanging.
that we cut to Andy in that one.
Yeah.
While this is floating.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, bro, pussy, bro. So much pussy.
Yeah.
Bro.
I love that you just. That was so funny that you were like, yeah, pussy. You got denied by. Oh man, that's beautiful.
I apologize that I was
that's
looking
okay.
the other way.
I looked up Amelia for you.
I'm really sorry.
Because she was.
And then we had a conversation about
famous
race,
lesbian.
and then it devolved into pussy.
Yeah.
Anyways, she never came out. She couldn't come out. She died in 1937. If you came out at this point, in your life-
1837.
19.
Oh, 1937.
So wait, were there rumors that she was gay? Is that in the research?
There's a lot of rumors that
That's
she's
cool.
gay
Mhm.
and that she was. There's actually a very long-standing rumor that she was having a secret affair with Eleanor Roosevelt.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing.
Oh, sorry.
We touched.
You gotta wash the lesbian off you.
And Eleanor Roosevelt's gay for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she actually wrote about it in her dictionaries or diaries.
Diaries.
I don't know what a
In her
dictionary is.
dictionaries.
Wait, so
Amelia Earhart, big old dyke.
Yeah.
Eleanor's
Noun.
confirmed gay? Well, I don't understand.
Eleanor had diaries where she talked about being in love with women sexually and
Oh, got it.
all that
Did
kind
she
of
talk about which one was she married to? Not Teddy. The other
stuff. Franklin
one.
Delano?
Yeah.
FDR.
Yeah. Teddy's her grandfather-in-law.
Father-in-law.
Grandfather-in-law.
Oh,
Or no,
really?
actually, I don't even think that
I
was
think it's
his-
father-in-law.
Maybe uncle. In-law.
I don't know.
Autumn, will you look up Franklin Delano Roosevelt's relationship to Teddy? Anyways, so broad strokes.
Go
She
for it.
drops out of college. She becomes a nurse because she's like, it's the middle of World War One, and so she's taking care of these soldiers, and she starts hearing them talk about their like the Red Baron and shit like that, like these like ace pilots and stuff like that. Eventually, so she becomes interested in planes that way and starts going to air shows and stuff like that. And
Whoa,
she's-
Eleanor Roosevelt was Teddy Roosevelt's niece?
Yeah, I guess.
So they were cousins.
Oh yeah, there was definitely some
Oh yeah, they were definitely related. Anyways, she goes to this air show, and her and her lady friend like are watching the pilot, and there's like a ace pilot, like kind of a war pilot guy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he literally tries to scare them with the plane, and she just
Oh, she doesn't
stands
flinch?
her ground,
Yeah.
and she says in a quote, she says that okay, this is a good one. She goes,
Nice try, idiot.
the interest aroused in me in Toronto led me to all the air circuses in the vicinity. One of the highlights of the day was a flying expedition put on by a World War I ace. The pilot overhead spotted Earhart and her friend who were watching from an isolated clearing.
her friend
Mhm.
from an isolated clearing.
Yeah, why were they
They're finger banging out there, dude. An isolated clearing.
and
Yeah, that's why she
dived
was-
at them.
That's why she didn't move, because she was getting fingered. She's like, you think I'm going to leave this finger?
Yeah. Well, they couldn't. They were stuck, you know? It was like a finger trap. He goes, I am sure. So he dived the plane at them. And she said, I am sure, he said to himself, watch me make them scamper. Earhart stood her ground as the aircraft came close. I did not understand this at the time, she said, but I believe that the little red airplane said something to me as it swished by, which I thought was kind of cute. Like little
Yeah.
planes talking, little plane whispering at you.
I want you in me.
Gay plane. She gets right after this. She gets the Spanish flu, chronic sinusitis for the rest of her life. It fucks up her sense of gravity and equilibrium.
No.
Oh, really?
So she's like kind of fucked up. Still hasn't flown. She spends a year in convalescence recovering from the Spanish flu.
What does that mean? What's
bed.
convalescence? Oh, okay.
And but then she
I spent like a year in bed playing FIFA.
yeah. So you have the same. You
yeah.
are.
I'm Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
You are
I can see
Filipino.
it in you.
You're Filipino Amelia Earhart. But she decides to go to medical school because she liked being a nurse, and then drops out.
Mm.
Her parents get back together in California. She goes out to California. Her dad takes her on her first flight. He gets her on a plane. they go on a plane. And she said that when she was like 100 feet off the ground, she knew that she was never going to not chase this for the rest of her life.
Oh, wow.
And then this is the part that I think is really badass, because she's already a badass. She's already doing cool shit and like kind of sticking out from the crowd. She's definitely not conforming to normal kind of, you know, social norms of the day. And she said that the second she took the flight, she wanted to be a pilot, right? So she worked odd jobs for months to save up, and her pilot lessons were $1,000 in 1922 or something like that.
Yeah, that's like $20,000.
It's literally $18,000.
Yeah.
Wow, that was incredible.
I recently looked it up in like around the 20s and 30s. I think the dollar dipped.
Yeah, it's called the Great Depression.
I don't know. I have no idea why, but I think the dollar dipped.
The dollar took a bath.
And then like now it's about 20 times whatever it was worth back then. But the dollar's worth so much more based on some other research I did in like 1890.
Yeah.
When there was another
Industrial Revolution.
Well, there was another
Was
depression.
that what that was?
In 1893, there's the Panic. That would have been the Great Depression. If the Great Depression, I don't know why I'm talking about this. Go ahead.
So she saves all this money. She uses a little bit of her inheritance, but it's mainly her working odd jobs, like being a teacher, being a nurse, doing cleaning houses, all this shit.
She's like trying to be it's like trying to be a comic.
Yeah.
She's working for a moving
And
company.
it's actually, this is why I say that she's kind of the first kind of social media star. But I'll get to that. To get to her bus or to her flight lessons, she has to take 2 buses, one to the end of the line, and then she has to walk 4 miles to the airstrip.
Whoa.
Do you know how far fucking 4 miles is?
Yeah.
And
like
shoes sucked back then.
That's like a 2-hour walk.
But the second she got into it, she bought a plane. I don't know how. It was called the Canary. It was a bright yellow biplane. And once she took her first solo flight, she bought one of those badass pilot jackets, and everybody made fun of her at the airfield because it was brand new. So she started sleeping in it and like constantly like fucking it up.
Oh, it was like one of the leather ones?
I'm obsessed.
With a furry collar?
I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
This is great.
And she's like, you know, she's a badass. She's like sleeping at the airfield. She's also like 20 something at this, like early 20s.
Yeah.
And she's just like living at an airfield. It's like Tom Cruise.
It does seem like that is like the grind of trying to be a comedian.
Yeah, truly.
Other than she didn't have to be like, maybe I will be in the air.
Also, comedy is not. She was getting in planes that were like, you know, just made of tinfoil.
People died all the time.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sure.
like 20,000 feet in the air in a tinfoil like
But
skeleton.
have you bombed an open mic?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Pretty similar.
You ever been like physically threatened on stage?
Yes.
I had a moment over the weekend after actually that, but it wasn't real. I just got really scared.
I've had guys.
Do masked lesbians fight?
Some of them do, not me.
Hope Solo.
Oh, yeah. Didn't she beat up her.
She beat up her boyfriend. She's not
Yeah.
gay.
Yeah, I've had a couple in Seattle only where like someone would be like, I'm fucking waiting for you after the show.
Whoa.
Not,
That's really scary.
I mean,
we were
it's-
like, "Do you want an autograph?"
it hasn't really been an issue though, because there are other comics there. Like I'm rolling 10 deep, and you came with your girlfriend to fight me.
Yeah.
Like, what does it matter?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send one of these guys to fight you.
Do you kick people out of shows?
I kicked someone out this weekend.
What'd they do?
They just kept trying to climb on stage, and they wouldn't
What?
shut the
Girl or
fuck up.
guy?
Guy.
And
A
straight or
trans
gay?
guy, actually.
Oh, okay.
And
Were they wasted?
Yeah, but I don't drink or smoke, and I never have, and so I have a really difficult time understanding drunk people,
Yeah.
and I don't always know that they're drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, but then after the climbing up and the standing on his chair, like all this like really wild behavior, he went to the bathroom and he went really slowly, and then once he had reached the dark shadows of the room, he's just stopped and faced the other direction. And that's when I lost it. That's when I was like, what are you doing? Like, what, like,
Yeah.
go, if you're going to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. And then he like slowly turned around.
Was this a club or a theater?
A club. I was at Zany's. And
In Chicago?
no, in
Oh.
Nashville.
Oh, that's not a good place to.
Yeah. And I'm gay. Like, I have the awful fantasy of some weird. I don't even want to speak it into existence.
I know what you're saying. I know.
So like
You're afraid you're going to get nominated as the vice president.
and
And you're going to be on stage and they're going to be like, Ashley, you're the vice president.
Yes,
and you're going to have to quit being a comedian and just go straight to Washington, D.C. and start dealing with foreign.
But
Is
then
this
he
the greatest
slowly
fear?
turns around. That's my greatest fear. And I'm worried he's going to be like, Kamala has retired. But then
Joe Biden needs a new minority.
Yeah. But then he just stood there. And I said, either go to the bathroom or sit the fuck down. And he like didn't move. And it was long enough for me to be like, I need security.
And he was wasted.
Yeah. And I feel bad about it now because he obviously really loved me. But like, it just freaked the shit out of me, dude. I don't know. That was one of my moments where I was like, these cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's like so, like, if somebody kills me on stage, it's because I said some smart shit. You know what I mean? But somebody might hate you for who you are, and I don't have to experience that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess, yes. But not this guy.
I think you also experienced that.
He just...
Have you ever done stand-up in like Friends and Lovers?
No, I mean, I definitely people definitely dislike me from the moment they see me.
Yeah.
That's like a pretty natural reaction
but
to
not,
this face.
not to the level, like,
But
people
they don't-
aren't murdering
People
guys
aren't
like
sure.
you.
Yeah.
They should. They
Yeah.
should constantly be murdering guys like me. That should be a.
But this guy wasn't that, and I knew that. I just thought he was crazy.
Oh.
And if you had heard the conversation between us, there was a lot of reason to think that he was
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
sure.
Yeah.
He claimed that he was dying, and he had 6 months to live.
Uh,
And I know this was a lie because of what he told me he was dying from, which
Yeah.
is very easy to find out that there's no way you would be at a comedy show, especially without a mask on.
Yeah,
dealing
COVID.
with,
Come on.
No. Like he told me it was absolutely batshit clearly a lie.
Yeah.
He was spouting a lot of absolutely batshit lies.
That's a horrible.
And so I just thought he was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I lost it.
Well, speaking of having 6 months to live,
Oh no.
Amelia is going to die. Although we don't know. Okay, so she gets really into planes. She gets invited because she's like this. She starts to become a celebrity. She moves back to Boston. She's the head, and the whole time she's trying to create spaces for women to fly. That's her whole initiative, and she's really active in the equal rights movement, which is like the suffragist movement.
Girls who fly.
Yeah, Girls Who Fly. Precede her to Girls Who Code. She gets invited to be a passenger on a flight across the Atlantic, which was a big deal back then. Not that many people did it. She was the first female passenger to cross the Atlantic. And when she got there, they were like, "What'd you do?" And she was like, "I sat there. I was luggage." Like she was like not trying to take credit at all for it because she was a real pilot, and but she couldn't.
Right, and probably in a way she felt almost shitty about like I was luggage. Not that.
Yeah.
She wants
but
to do
she
it
just
herself.
She didn't want any credit, and so eventually, she gets back and she gets a ticker tape parade down the Valley of Heroes. Calvin Coolidge greets her when she lands in America after this trip across the Atlantic. They fly to England. There's stars over there. They fly back. There's stars over here. Also, there's a little. She flew. They landed in Scotland or something like that, and then she flew like a baroness's plane to England by herself, which I think is like. What's she doing with this baroness? Anyways, she becomes this.
That'd be so hot.
Yeah.
At the time, that's just like
that is
a
pretty
plane
hot.
that's hot.
But this is how she becomes the biggest, the kind of what I would see as a predecessor to social media, which is the second she gets back, she is the most famous woman in America because she's a badass. And I think that there's probably a lot of trying to kind of commercialize her for they wanted to, but it's the beginning of creating branding around women who do different stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's they release clothing lines based off of Amelia Earhart that were
wow.
for women that do stuff who
They
are
used to do this-
outdoorsy and things like that.
They used to do this with the first lady too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's everywhere. She's writing books. She's going on speaking tours. Her publicist is a guy who his name is Putnam. She was engaged to another guy.
Gay.
She
Gay publicist named
Yeah.
Putnam. Gay.
But Putnam divorced his wife and asked Amelia to marry him 6 times.
Oh, even gayer.
And
It's gayer by the second.
The 6th time she agreed to.
That's what I do. I ask a girl out on a date like 6 times, and I'm like, this is pretty gay.
Yeah. You know what? I'm starting to see a trend here.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she's this famous person. Everybody's like, how are you going to raise the stakes? She plans a trip to fly across the Atlantic solo. It's never been done by a lady. And they actually have to set up decoy planes. So her plane that she owns, another guy is getting ready, and she's somewhere else getting ready to take the flight.
People just they just wanted to be around.
Yeah, they wanted to report on it and all this stuff, and they kind of wanted to. I don't know why actually. It had to be
probably
a secret.
that because there are just too many mobs probably.
Yeah,
gathering.
Just a surprise. She takes off from Halifax in the middle of the night, and she lands she's supposed to fly to Paris because she wants to recreate Charles Lindbergh's flight.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole time she's battling storms, bad weather. She's having mechanical problems by herself in the plane. I don't know how the fuck this is like such a different plane. There's not a single computer on this plane. And she somehow makes it across the Atlantic, kind of crash lands in a field in Northern Ireland. And, I just thought that was cool. And then,
I was imagining, what was that movie with Sandra Bullock where she was in space?
Oh, yeah.
Gravity?
Yeah,
that's what I was imagining.
Yeah. And she landed, when she landed in the field in Northern Ireland, a little like farmhand boy like ran up and he was like, did you fly far? And she was like, from America, kid. And anyways, after this, she's just kind of a celebrity. And
how does she get back?
She flies.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. She probably flies.
Canoe.
She's pushing commercial flying wasn't a point. People were flying on Zeppelins at this point. There wasn't a ton of big flights, and there was a lot more like steamers and things like that. But she gets back, and then she wants to set the world record to circumnavigate the globe.
Uh-huh.
And she plans one trip. They get to Hawaii. They crash land. They have to abort the mission. The next one, she's like almost done with this circumnavigating the globe, and they disappear between Papua New Guinea and some place called Howland Island.
Can I look this up? Am I allowed to do this?
Yeah. What do you want to look? We can also have her.
Oh, I'd like
if
to
you
see
tell
the
her
map, please. I'd like to figure out where she is. Thank you, Otto.
There's a lot of theories. Just look up Howland Island.
So you have to land every now and then to get some gas.
Yeah, they're not staying in the air.
So she started where?
She started in Oakland, California.
Okay, and all the solid lines.
Yeah, those are flights she took, and then she disappeared between Leh and Howland over on the right side.
Oh wow,
that's where her and the ocean there around Howland Island. Here's the thing. So when she's about to land, she's due in, and
her girlfriend must be so upset. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you don't know. I mean, she landed on. Here's the thing: we don't ever know what happened to her. What if she lands on one of these Polynesian islands where they don't have weird gender norm shit, and she's just in a pussy buffet for the last 40 years of her life? You didn't think about that.
She's the only thing she loves is her plane and the sky.
I know that is. Yeah. There's no puss that's gonna make up for flying.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Howland Island, they get radio interceptions from her, which meant she had to be around there.
Oh.
She's like, hey, I'm close. I can't see you, but I'm close. I'm going to circle back. They're getting stuff like this. Then the last one is like, hey, I'm running out of gas. Like, I'm close, but like, I'm going to try to find you guys. And then nothing. She's with a dude too. They're in the plane and they've never found the plane. But around Howland Island, the ocean is 18,000 feet deep. So it's like not easy to.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's the end of Amelia.
I'm so sad. That makes me so sad. She was sick. I didn't realize how cool she was.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Yeah. True legend.
Out there. And she was like sponsored by like Lucky Strikes. She's like
that's tight.
Smoking a cigarette, being like, hey, girls, you can smoke too.
Yeah.
You know?
You can do anything.
You can die at 39 too.
You can do any goddamn thing you want, except buy a brand new flight jacket.
We should have done this earlier, but the whole reason you're here is we wanted to talk about that special.
Oh, yeah. Well, the way I feel about this is like, if people like me, they're going to look me up.
Yeah.
And if I have to push it, They're not gonna look me up.
Ashley's got a special out on
yeah,
YouTube.
if you wanna, hey,
What's it called?
I'm Ashley. We can do it for the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for having me here at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a special out on YouTube called Ashley Gavin live
You
in
don't
Chicago.
say. That's so nice to meet you.
Yeah, very nice to meet you guys.
Is that on your channel?
It is on my channel.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I know it was Don't Tell produced.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
love those guys.
They're the best in the world. They're
Kyle,
literally
yeah.
the best at what they do.
I think I did one of the very first Don't Tell shows in LA, and I really
Sick.
should have stayed closer to them because I'd be Ralph Barbosa
Just
right
get
now.
close to them now. Just
I
shoot.
am.
Oh, great.
I've definitely tried to. I just did a Don't Tell set, and it was so fun, and they were so good to
Your
me.
set's so good. It made me angry that I have another friend whose set went super viral, and I was angry that his went viral and not yours.
You cannot control it.
Yeah,
It's just
Also,
what
mine
happens.
did pretty good. I got 400K.
it's
400K.
awful numbers.
400K is pretty good.
All the
for me.
comments on it are like, "What the hell?"
They say nice legs. I wore shorts.
Oh, nice.
I had no idea.
Yeah, you know,
I'd never done it in my entire
when
life.
I was in Seattle, my buddy Sam, he said, "Hey, what if I wore shorts?" Because he hadn't gone home to change. I was like, "No, you fucking do
Which
that."
Sam?
Sam Morrison.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a funny
great.
kid. He actually has had a good year with his
He's had a
one-man
great year.
show, right?
Yeah.
Sam
Sugar
can
Daddy
wear
used to
shorts.
do that. Yeah.
He can get away with it.
Well, I told him no.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You had to
I said it's distracting.
yeah. You
Yeah. Anything else you want to plug?
Now that we're plugging at the end of the show,
you have a podcast.
I have a podcast
Oh,
called
hell
We're
yeah.
Having Gay Sex. I have two podcasts. The other one's called Chosen Family. And my special is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go check it out. If
What
you just
else?
search me.
Are you on the road?
Yeah.
Always on the road?
Well, actually, you can come see me in Orlando, and then I'm taking a long break, and then I've got Sacramento and a bunch of theaters in the fall. So just
I like that you're really paying attention to the kind of outlier gays. You know, you're going to places where
thank you
the
so much.
lesbians
I'm
maybe
doing
aren't.
the work.
Yeah, you're going to the places where they're like, "Ugh, man, there's nothing in town.
And then I'll get the comment, which is like this slightly backhanded compliment, although I don't think they mean it this way. But they'll say, "Holy shit, I didn't know there were this many gay people in Nashville." I'm like, "You don't think I can move numbers, baby?
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on."
I saw Lucas say that, and I was like, this motherfucker's going to lose his job. Lucas said, I can't believe there's this many lesbians in Phoenix. And I was like, bro, you got to watch yourself.
They walked across the desert to get there.
Actually, I think Phoenix is a pretty
I
lesbian-friendly
like
town.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
There's something about in that climate, you know, it's like it's too hot for homophobia to thrive, you know?
Too hot for anything.
Yeah, exactly.
No one should be there.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Do
you for having me.
Have anything that you want to relate back to Amelia Earhart? How do you feel like you're like Amelia Earhart?
How
Can
do
I
I feel?
Just to, can I see a picture of Amelia Earhart and see how hot she was?
Yeah, she's definitely she's a babe, but in a way that
She's
I think she's a lesbian.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God, she would
She's
be
got Hilary
just
Swank look.
absolutely killing it at the
Hilary
Woods.
Swank is playing her in the biopic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But there's this picture, that one up on the left,
Oh my God, the non-binary energy.
to the left over. Yeah, that one. She's like such a like.
She's so cute.
Yeah, like a cute, but it's very obviously like, she's not for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me see that one of her leaning on the plane.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We got to
Wait.
be careful. Ashley's going to get all hot and bothered.
No, I
We're
just
going to
wanna
have to
be her
step
friend.
out. You
I
just
just-
want to be her be her
I
friend.
want to be your roommate.
I
for
just
many,
want to be
many
your
years.
friend.
I want to
and-
be your baroness.
Yeah, go on a date, and the next date I hire a U-Haul, and
She's so adorable and so gay. Like she's so gay. It's
Yeah.
crazy how gay she is.
Speaking of Hilary Swank, one time I was trying to be funny. This is before I started stand-up. I was working at a cafe in Bellingham where Hilary Swank is from, and
Oh, I
I
know
went
that.
to college. And she walked up, and this is right after she's won the Oscar for $1 Million Baby. And I'm trying to be funny because I think I'm funny, and everybody's like fawning over her. And I was like, you know what my favorite movie is? The Next Karate Kid. And nobody laughed, especially Hilary Swank. Everybody was really upset. And then I was like, I don't like this Hilary Swank so much. So we always like to end on a place where I've been kind of demoralized.
Shamed, yeah.
Shamed and demoralized. Thank you
Well,
so much, Ashley.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Do you? I forgot to ask. Did you have Amelia or a Pidge name? We were
I
going
had
to
a
think about it.
nickname that I still use on the internet, Ashgavs, but
That's a good one. That kind of sounds college sports.
yeah, it does have
Okay.
that feeling. It was camp.
Yeah.
But other than that, no mealy or Pidge or anything like that.
Okay. What's yours?
Dumbass.
Yeah.
No, my whole family calls me Anthony.
Yeah, that's right.
That's my middle name.
Oh, okay.
I think people call me Fatback
Yeah.
because I have haunches, like get big hippie fat haunches.
Yesterday I was talking about you. I forget with who. Maybe Connor. And
How weird my body is.
Yeah, we were like,
God, men are horrible.
his body is like David Byrne in that big suit.
That's kind of true. It is kind of true. I don't feel as big as I am. Like every time somebody's like, "You're imposing," I'm like, "You got me."
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.